Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Nashua. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. It's the Pinkerton Astros and the BG Cardinals. Two teams very familiar with one another, two teams on the annual short list of contenders in the NHIAA Division I landscape, and two teams yet again in 2025 off to a great start as we hit about the midway point of the regular season. Senior night here tonight, festivities on the way, honoring 10 Cardinal seniors on their way out. And we'll get those to you live here in just a moment. But let me bring in my partner, Kristen Cameron. Let's talk first actually about Pinkerton. 10 wins, 2 losses, one of those out of state, the other against defending Division I champion Portsmouth. They've looked pretty good. They're balanced. They have several college commits. And so far, so good for the Astros 12 games in.
Pinkerton's having a great start to their season. They're really anchored in goal by goaltender Sarah DiClemente. Having a strong goalkeeper can really load that team. It sets you up for success on the rest of the field when you get those stops, those momentum. I think the Astros are going to come out strong today.
And for Bishop Guertin, balance as well. 10 seniors we mentioned, a lot of veterans. A lot of those players played in last year's state championship game. Can be emotional, though, on senior night. Parents, family, friends in attendance. Does that factor in at all in your mind? And if so, to what degree?
You know, I actually think senior day might be a coach's worst nightmare with those distractions pregame. We see lots of family and friends lined up to support. It's a really special day, though. You know, these girls have put in 4 years of hard work and all the years before that coming up through their youth programs. And so it's a special time to honor that crew and a class loaded with commitments, stacked with talent. I think that they'll be energized by this.
Now, taking a step back as we look at the Division I landscape at this point, Portsmouth still seems like the team to beat. Exeter's having a good season. Bedford is a perennial contender. Where do these two teams fit in your mind as we round the midway point and head down the stretch?
These two teams are the underdogs. And, you know, the underdogs, they've got a lot to prove. You know, these are teams that they're very, very talented, but Portsmouth right now, they're leagues ahead of everyone else. And so I think that can be motivating. Of you have something to prove, you want to fight extra hard, and who doesn't want an upset?
Portsmouth is actually next on Bishop Guertin's schedule. That game comes your way Thursday. It'll be played here at Stello Stadium. And Pinkerton will face off against Wyndham coming up on Friday. The Astros early in the season, just game number 2, played Portsmouth pretty well. 9-7 was that final, and a Clippers win. All right, let's turn things down to the field here where the public address announcer is announcing these seniors. We'll step back and bring you the Senior Day ceremonies live here from Stellos.
Number 16, Hannah Lisowskis. Number 25, Bella Petrilia. Number 7, Sydney Sexton. Number 20, Madison Kvecki. Number 30, Sarah DiClemente. Number 19, Lila Goucher. And number 21, Anna Perkins. And now, for the seniors from Bishop Guertin. On behalf of Coach Callie Santos, the entire Bishop Guertin girls lacrosse coaching staff, the BG Athletic Department, and the entire school administration, we would like to congratulate our student athletes on a great high school career. We thank you for wearing the green and gold so proudly and representing the school well. Also, we wish to extend our appreciation to each student athlete's parents. We are blessed to have such outstanding young women as a part of our program. We thank you for the support and commitment to your child and the school. We wish you all nothing but success and happiness in all of your future academic and athletic endeavors. So now, it is my pleasure to introduce the seniors and their parents from the Bishop Guertin girls varsity lacrosse team. Number 2, Sarah Brunel. Sarah is joined by her parents, Ann and Raymond. Number 6, Captain Jordan Hagel. Jordan is joined by her parents, Anne Marie and Steve. Number 9, Lindsay Rodell. Lindsay is joined by her parents, Mary Lynn and Dave. Number 11, Madison Mendel. Madison is joined by her parents, Tina and Dawn. Number 15, Elena Marziano. Elena is joined by her parents, Rachel and Nicholas. Number 22, Ava Carr. Ava is joined by her parents, Pam and John. Number 25, Mariella Tomasello. Mariella is joined by her parents, Laura and Lewis. Number 29, Haley Mitchell. Haley is joined by her parents, Karen and Jim. Number 88, Captain Maddie Irineo. Maddie is joined by her parents, Rebecca and Aaron. Number 99, Emerson Davis. Emerson is joined by her parents, Kelly and Christian. Thank you to all of our seniors, their parents, and all Bishop Guertin girls varsity lacrosse fans for all the memories. We wish you all continued success and happiness.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471
888-858-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
All right, we're back here in Nashua. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Two heavyweight contenders in Division I set to go at it in the Cardinals' final home game of the season. As we just saw, the 10 seniors honored with mom and dad down on the field. And we're set to play some lacrosse here momentarily. This game originally slated for a 6 o'clock start, running a couple of minutes late because the previous game on this field, the boys matchup between Hollis Brookline and Nashua North, ran a little bit late. All right, Kristen, what do we look for? Break it down here in terms of the advantages both Pinkerton and Bishop Guertin are trying to gain here over the course of the game.
Yeah, both teams have some serious offensive firepower. And so this could easily be a game of runs. So I think defensive stops are going to come in to play here. Who's going to make more saves, cause turnovers? That could be a difference maker. We know both teams can score, and so the possessions, I always say, it starts at the draw circle. If you can, make it, take it, you're going to see a lot of success here.
Pinkerton recently had a change in the record books. Player to watch tonight is the senior Hannah Lazaskis. She's now the all-time program leader in career points, just past Megan O'Reilly, class of 02, this past week. So not only one of Pinkerton's all-time great players, but certainly one of the premier seniors statewide. I'm sure Bishop Guertin are going to try to slow her down tonight.
Yeah, Hannah, not only can she score, but she just has that vision. She is an unselfish player. She moves the ball really well, always keeping her head up. And so when you're defending a player like that, you have to, you're thinking about, am I going to play her close to the body, stop her from going to goal? She's very strong at X. She'll roll the crease. Or, got to play her stick to stick, keep your head on a swivel, and look to shut down those passes inside.
The matchup in goal. Good one to watch as well. Sarah DiClemente, you mentioned her, the Pinkerton senior on her way to Coastal Carolina, has been good all season for the Astros. And there's a veteran in net for Bishop Guertin as well. That's Madeline Eder-Linnell, who really came on last year during that championship game run for BG. She's on her way to Sacred Heart. So both goaltenders, a lot of similarities, a little bit of differences, but two seniors that both these coaches can lean on.
One thing that you'll notice about both of these goalies is how athletic they are. They move really well, super active in cage, not just standing there waiting for the ball to come to them. You'll see them maybe play even a little bit of a higher crease, really step to and play big in cage. I'm excited to see, the goalie play. That's nothing gets a team more excited, more hyped, more momentum than a big goalie stop.
Good conditions here weather-wise. It had been rainy all weekend, last few days to start the week as well, but the weather fully cooperating today. Temperatures in the 70s right now, still about 74. Shadows starting to grow a little bit long on this turf field. Maybe that factors in the opening minutes, but shouldn't play too big of a deal. Kristen, you played on this field, obviously, and know this kind of year, or this time of year, and the shadows can sometimes play tricks on you, but we shouldn't expect too much from that element, should we?
Should be okay. Looks like, especially if I'm looking at the creases in the 8-meter arc, seems to have pretty good shadow coverage. Nick, let me tell you, I played on this field, but not this brand new turf. This is looking nice, really nice.
Yeah, Stello Stadium just completed their renovation. Took, several months. Began back in the fall. It's here. It's improved for sure. Different end zones, as you can see. But fresh turf here for this face-off. All right, let's throw it downstairs once again for the national anthem. All right, ready to rumble here in Nashua as Bishop of Guertin and Pinkerton set to face off. Cardinals 7-3 overall, hoping to shake off a 2-game skid. They failed to win at Cunnet by a goal, and then were shut out against New England power Moses Brown their last time out. It was 5 days ago. Pinkerton also looking to rebound from an out-of-state loss, just their second of the season. They come in at 10-2. Cardinals will be in their home whites, Pinkerton in the road red. And again, Kristen, you're very familiar with both these head coaches. What's the final pregame message you think that's taking place now on the sidelines?
I think, both teams have had tremendous success so far this season, but this is when it really, really matters. You got to kick it into high gear, stay focused. This is a team, these two teams could meet again later in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And so, get better every single play is what matters at this point in the season.
Both head coaches addressing their teams. And we're getting set for this delayed start here in Nashua. By the way, the boys' version of BG against Pinkerton, that took place earlier today. That was a Cardinal win as Bishop Guertin doubled up Pinkerton on the boys' side 16-8. That is a final score. So a big win there for Bishop Guertin. Can the ladies do it? Or does Pinkerton come in here as a road team and spoil senior day? That's the storyline here as we get set. And, of course, a lot of these players familiar with each other from the club circuit, from the offseason. In fact, I saw several members of both teams kind of chatting with one another prior to the game. But as Magic Johnson once said, you're friends after the game, correct?
New Hampshire lacrosse it's a tight-knit community. The players who really try to level up, they're playing club all year round. These girls know each other. They could use that to their advantage or disadvantage during this game, especially being familiar with a goalie's strengths and weaknesses.
Anna Perkins at the face-off circle for Pinkerton, the senior. Astros will head left to right in this first quarter, going up against junior Abigail Lynn for Bishop Guertin. And Pinkerton, with a pretty clean win, is going to open with the first possession as we are underway here from Stello Stadium in Nashua. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. A big one in Division One. And we could see Coach Santos very engaged here, trying to coach up the defense in real time. Meanwhile, up top at the box, falling to the ground but getting the pass off, is the player to watch tonight for Pinkerton. That's Hannah Lazoskis, number 16 in red. Two players behind the cage, far side. This is Elise Collins, the senior, draws a slide. And Pinkerton again will reset at the top of the box. Delaney Summers now with a touch.
Pinkerton early on working this two-man game. You see that they have these set plays. They're looking to go to Lazoskis. She dodged hard the first time.
Forced to give it up here. And now slipping free and firing a bouncing shot for a score is, I believe, Francesca Doyle, the junior. Tough for us to tell up here, but I believe that was number 9 in red who got the step, went right down the middle. Fired the bouncer, and indeed it was Doyle, the junior, on her way to URI. Gets Pinkerton off to a good start, 1-0.
Yeah, that looked like a classic Franny Doyle goal to me. She is athletic. She's quick. See, she only needed a few steps inside there and placed that ball well to start the game.
Just over a minute gone by. Good possession there for Pinkerton after they win the opening faceoff. Now Perkins will look to make it 2 in a row. Off the one bounce, and again taken on the run. That time by Doyle. Now Lazoski's going to pump the brakes on the near wing. Hook back up with Doyle. And the Astros will restart on trip number 2 here. There's a lot of communication, a lot of talking defensively here for Bishop Guertin.
That's key here, especially when you're talking about, you clearly see they're working the ball around. You know a set play is coming. You have to be talking about it. These plays are well designed. They know how to find the opening.
There's another bouncing shot, and that may have gone 5-hole. Either way, it's a score as Delaney Summers, again, able to get the step, and then using the bank shot as an early weapon. Pinkerton 2 for 2 in attempts, and they've got a 2-0 lead on the scoreboard less than 2 minutes in.
Delaney Summers having an excellent sophomore campaign. That's just an example of what she can do. You have to be able to be nifty inside. And I think, if you're BG on defense here, got to be closer stick to stick. They only need a very, very small opening to be able to catch the ball and finish, and so have to play more aggressive off ball.
So Pinkerton off to the start they were hoping for. 2 for 2 in the draw circle. And 2 for 2 on the attack as well. We get an early whistle here and a redo on the way between Perkins and Lynn.
This is a matchup in the draw circle that I think we'll see all game.
A little movement on the wing here. The ball has still not been released. And now we do get the whistle. It's going to straddle the 50 to the near side, and that allows Jordan Gable to pick it up. As the senior defenseman is going to secure Bishop Guertin's first possession. Cardinals will go behind the net and hope to cash in on their first trip to cut this Pinkerton lead in half. Lynn up top is going to survey. Really came on strong last year. If you remember, Kristen, in the tournament, she was one of the more outstanding players last year as a sophomore.
That performance would be hard to forget. She was all over the field, a true two-way midfielder.
Yeah. Meanwhile, whistle here at the top of the box. Bella Dawson had it in her possession. Now the junior attack is going to line up here for what looks like a free position shot. 11 meters out, going to try a sweeping low offering that is denied. First save recorded by DeClemente. The senior on her way to Coastal Carolina. Made the stop down by the ankle. Now a couple of quick passes and Pinkerton's off to the run. Clear complete. It's Elise Collins. Another NCAA commit on this roster. One of 6 for Pinkerton. Shot and score. Coming right down the alley there. No help for Eder Linnell, who was beaten on the doorstep. And don't look now, but Pinkerton's got an early 3-0 lead. And that is going to lead to a Coach Santos timeout as Bishop Guertin looks to talk it over.
Hannah Lasoskis just rack up those points. She gets another assist there, finding Suki Folsom in the inside. Again, it's, they don't need to get set up. They've now shown their versatility. They can settle, they can work the ball around, find a set play, or just play lacrosse. They were able to play fast there and catch the Cardinals off guard.
Face-off circle has been big early on, but perhaps the story of the opening minutes has been the efficiency for Pinkerton on the attack. 3 goals in 3 possessions.
3 goals, 3 possessions. Also, that last one, I credit it to goalie play. You make a save on an 8-meter, you clear the ball successfully, you just create more opportunities for your team.
Well, you mentioned pace of play was something to watch. And as we saw there, Pinkerton gets the stop, they get the clear, and wasn't quite sure if BG ever completely recovered on the defensive end. I don't know if you categorize that last one as a transition goal or not, but either way, they went the length of the field pretty quickly.
It was certainly an unsettled offense. I like that they're able to, they don't have to wait for the coaching. What are we going to do here? They're just able to read the game, read the field. I like this timeout from Coach Callie Santos. This is a time when you gotta catch this and reset early. Been watching a lot of other playoff sports basketball right now. This is big. You gotta stop the run. Celtics haven't quite been able to figure that one out, but let's see if the Cardinals can do so right now.
Yeah, good early timeout, I think, here by Coach Santos, trying to settle her girls down. So we talked about this one, got off to a bit of a late start. There was a previous game on the field that ended late. Then we had the pregame ceremonies honoring the seniors here on senior night. But this one just a few minutes old here, first quarter, and Pinkerton's got a 3-0 lead on the board. 3 different goal scorers, Doyle, Summers, and Folsom. With the all-time program leader in career points, Hannah Lasoskis, in on a couple of those assists.
Another thing I like about what I've seen from Pinkerton is you got 2 sophomores on the board. They've, while they do have a veteran team stacked with commitments, we're seeing the underclassmen perform early.
So BG looking to answer the bell after falling in an early 3-0 hole. Hoping to get their second straight win in the face-off circle. Abigail Lynn is back there again to face off against Anna Perkins. And once again, an early whistle here. And a restart coming up for a rematch.
This is a rule change we've seen go back and forth every few years where they try to figure out how to make the draw circle and these draws as efficient as possible. But you see, we've already seen multiple redraws here. It slows the pace of the game down, but we've gone back this year to drawing when no one player is at fault.
So the redo. We get a bouncer as a result, far side, and it's going to be Pinkerton possession. Perkins able to follow it herself. Quick restart. Coming downhill is Lasoskis. Good defensive play to push her back out, though, is Sophia Harrington. The young sophomore stands strong there for Bishop Guertin. Nearly 4 minutes in. Pinkerton threatening to make it a 4-0 game. Here's Folsom. Now it's Summers, going to tiptoe to her right. Goal line extended. Trying to find somebody is Lasoskis. Looks in the middle for Summers, who is swarmed. That ball comes out, and BG's got to take away.
I like that no call. The refs could have called maybe a stick toward the face, but instead they let them play.
Elena Marziano. Elena Marziano. Nice job there on the ground ball and clear. Meanwhile, tangled up is Sarah Brunel. Senior on her way to Endicott. Draws a bump at the top of the box, and now we may see the second free position shot for Bishop Guertin. Brunel going to charge, and get a whistle on the release. That ball ends up in the net, and I think the goal is going to stand.
Looked like a good goal to me. She found that bottom left corner, really smart shot placement. DiClemente is a lefty goalie, which you don't always see often. And so a lot of times, when you are playing against a new lefty goalie and you don't pick up on it, that side of the net that you're usually used to placing the ball in is right in their stick. So good choice to go bottom left corner there.
Brunel gives BG what they needed as the Cardinals get the stop on the defensive end, come down, draw the whistle, and then cash in on the free position shot. Sarah Brunel goes low. And a little more manageable now, 3-1. Cardinals hope to build on that confidence. This one is a straight-up violation against Pinkerton. BG with a quick restart. Brunel gets inside the defender. Split dodge, lost it, but draws the whistle. Well, Brunel aggressive. We saw her go right to the cage a moment ago on that free position shot goal here. Same mentality, draws the contact and now has a chance to duplicate what she did a moment ago. Hurries quick, and this time DiClemente says, I don't think so.
Wow, interesting call there, sending it Pinkerton's way. Ref has to make a tough call there. Who was closer to the ball when it went out? And the Astros won that foot race.
Seemed like a photo finish, but good hustle by Pinkerton's Callie Lockwood may have made the difference there. Again, the Astros beat the Bishop Guertin ride. Collins going to slow down and hand things over to Callie Lockwood.
Good adjustment from the Cardinals defense there. 2 possessions in a row, stopping transition offense and forcing Pinkerton to work the ball around.
Midway through, first quarter. Astros scored the first 3 and now look to reestablish that 3-goal edge here. You get a whistle, a little bit of contact, may have been away from the ball. Looks like a moving screen against Pinkerton. That's going to give it right back over to Bishop Guertin.
I'm not surprised to see that call. It's actually a point of emphasis for referees this season, looking for off-ball fouls in the critical scoring area.
So again, the Cardinals defense get a stop. And now the home team can make it a 1-goal contest here. Mariella Tomasello, one of 2 players behind the net for Bishop Guertin. Brunel. Short pass taken low up top. A touch for Gable. Senior on her way to Iona. Cardinals show patience. They throw it over the top, but it's intercepted. DiClemente saw it coming, able to reach over her head to pluck that one out of the sky. A good individual play by the goaltender to force the turnover.
We talked about DiClemente's athleticism in the pregame, and she's showing that early. I mean, to be able to move like that, step out, intercept that ball, and then get it out, clear it quickly is huge.
A couple of saves in the back pocket for the senior DiClemente as well. Meanwhile, some physical play at midfield. Brunel's going to jog off to the Cardinal sideline. Pinkerton awaiting the restart. Brunel headed to the box here?
Yeah, that was a yellow card. Check toward the head. Pretty obvious that was going to be called. So she'll sit for 2 minutes, and the Astros will be a woman up.
First penalty either way comes with inside of 5 minutes gone by, or 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Again, the Astros look to reestablish their largest lead. Lazaskis trying to find a weak side cutter. That skip pass ends up on the ground, and there's the ground ball on the move by Lynn. Lynn able to maintain her balance along that sideline to complete the clear. Now Bishop Guertin, got a 4-on-3 here. But they're going to settle behind the cage instead and look to run a play.
Yeah, you got to make a decision there. Do you take that opportunity in transition, try to get a goal, being a player down? But you could hear Coach Santos from the sidelines yelling settle. She wants them to kill this penalty. They're just going to play wide, hold the ball, maybe move it if they get pressured. But Pinkerton seems content to just let them run some clock right now.
Inside of 4 minutes first quarter. Astros now going to stretch things out a little bit defensively, but still no real pressure here on the perimeter. Cardinals again playing the waiting game. Brunel is on her feet, but still in the penalty box.
So when you're a player up on defense, you're able to run this backer. So you'll see run into traffic right away.
As we get a whistle.
Oh, we're going to send another player off.
Well, this time it looks like it's against Pinkerton. Francesca Doyle is going to jog to the sideline, presumably to take her place in the penalty box. No argument there from the junior. So we're at even strength here for the next few seconds anyway, until Brunel's penalty for BG expires. Cardinals look inside, but it's too crowded out in front of the net. Ball ends up in the stick of the goaltender, DiClemente.
Yeah, not the decision I probably would have made there. I think you have to show a little bit more poise, pull it out. You know, you're going to be warming up at some point in the very near future. So I think that was, an IQ type play where it's really tempting to force the ball in the middle, but pulling it out is a smarter move.
Brunel is back on. So Pinkerton is shorthanded here, but in control with the ball. Inside of 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. 3-1 is the Astro lead on the board. Coming near side now is Mia Eckerman, another senior on her way to Austin Peay University. As we talked about in the pregame, both rosters again this year loaded with NCAA recruits. Trying to find some safety is Ava Michelini, sophomore. And we get a whistle, and a timeout is going to come from Pinkerton.
That's something you got to watch out for. When you are a player up like BG is right now, there's that temptation to, let's try to get the ball back, double team. But it's so easy to foul there. When you have kind of that energy around, okay, like let's just go get this. Sometimes you actually do just want to run the penalty down. Like it's not, we're at the point in the game, it's still very, very early. I try to limit the fouls and play clean lacrosse.
Very fine line between, trying to force a turnover defensively and committing a foul, even at even strength. But to your point, got to play in control in these kind of special situations. 3-1 Astros early. Pinkerton scored the first three. Francisca Doyle, Delaney Summers, Suki Folsom in that order, all within the first 3.5 minutes. Bishop Guertin gets on the board on a free position shot from Sarah Brunel. Our broadcast is brought to you by Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by the New Hampshire Tomahawks Showcase and Development for College Lacrosse. Find out more by visiting NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you here at Stello Stadium. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Just about midway through this regular season. Hard to believe, but only 3 or so weeks remaining in regular season action. We'll have tournament coverage come your way, of course, in June. But really from this point on, Kristen, each game is a little bit bigger than the last for both these teams.
It is. I think there are a few points of focus here. It's one, this is a time when you should be playing as a team, working together, figuring out how to play that team offense, team defense. The second thing is no one get hurt. Stay healthy. Make sure you have a full-strength team headed into the playoffs. And then number 3, just keep having fun. Don't let the pressure get to you.
So Pinkerton out of the timeout with possession. And there's nowhere to go here for Summers. Being hounded by the defender, Bella Dawson. High pass ends up on the ground. It's scooped back up. Pinkerton's going to keep it. A hard sprint from one side of the field to the other by Lazauskas. Really trying to shake off what looks like a double team here. Runs into trouble behind the cage, trying to tiptoe the boundary. Looking at the officials for some help here. Lynn is all over her. Lynn trying to steer her back to the wing, and finally, Wazaska's forced to give it up.
Even strength finally. Francesca Doyle's 2-minute yellow card has been released.
That's going to bring us to the 1-minute mark here, first quarter. The first period has been good to the Pinkerton Astros, trying to add another. Well, what's turning out to be a pretty lengthy possession here. Pass for the cutter, won't get through. There's some contact, but no whistle. Lynn's got the ground ball for the Cardinals. Pass for Brunel is dropped in front of the BG bench. Brunel went skidding into her teammates there. Pretty good hit laid out by Parker Knowlton, the junior who's got the restart for the Astros. Pinkerton now with 30 seconds to work with. You can hear again the Cardinals trying to communicate in real time defensively. Pass Law behind the net, then back out in front. That's batted down. Eder Linnell's going to leave the cage and get to it for the Cardinals.
Another athletic goalie play. She said, that's my ground ball. She said, we're sending this ball down the other end of the field. Not much to work with, though. 3 seconds left.
No. But BG does get the ball out of the danger zone and will settle. They'll have to settle. Trailing by a score of 3-1 after one. BG looking for more answers on Senior Day when we come back. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Got ourselves a 3-1 game as we head to the second quarter. Pinkerton leading Bishop Guertin in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. Pinkerton looked good out of the gate. 3 goals in the first 3+ minutes. Francesca Doyle, Delaney Summers, Suki Folsom in that order. BG about midway through the quarter got on the board via a Sarah Brunel free possession shot. I'd say, if you're Pinkerton, you're pretty happy with that first quarter. If you're Bishop Guertin, you're certainly not discouraged, only down 2.
Yeah, Pinkerton had a great start, but you could start great, but you got to keep that going. And so we really saw things slow down for them. I think on both ends of the field for both teams, questionable decision making. You know, you see someone who's open for a split second, and it just takes that extra ounce of discipline to say, that's not the look. That's going to be a sure thing.
Yeah, to your point, final 7 minutes, 20 seconds of that first quarter scoreless, as the defense and goaltending, frankly, coming to the forefront. Saw 3 saves unofficially from Sarah DiClemente in that first quarter for Pinkerton. And Eder Linnell helping out on the clears and the ground balls as well for Bishop Guertin. Teams will switch ends. Astros will now work right to left. Well, BG will counter it left to right. Senior night, as we talked about, 10 seniors honored. All of them in one way or another have made really significant contributions to the programs over the last handful of years. And a well-deserved recognition for these 10 seniors took place on the field just prior to face-off.
It's so exciting that, you know, this time next year we'll be following them in the NCAA tournament, and the journey does not end here.
Yeah, as we talked about, I think 11 recruits, NCAA commits rather, for Bishop Guertin and 6 for Pinkerton. So that's a combined 17 future NCAA players on this field here today.
been so fun this tournament, especially to see New Hampshire talent making such a splash in the tournament. I mean, I could take me 10 minutes to rattle off all the players who've made an impact, but we still have a couple looking to make a deep run on the women's side, notably Regan O'Brien playing for Penn. She'll match up against Northwestern on Thursday. And Sydney Grogan playing for Yale, who they have been battling out all season as a top team, will also look to make it deep in tournament season.
2 former Bedford Bulldogs. Meanwhile, Lynn split dodge and score. Goes high to low there. BG scored 2 straight, and they're within 1 at 3-2. Lynn gets her first. On a great move there, just took the initiative and saw a little bit of daylight and scored.
BG seems to have success with these breaks in play. So they were able to stop the run after the timeout. They figured it out. They got their first goal. Now, between quarters, they were able to reset, came out strong, win a draw, and Lynn just goes straight to cage.
Comes just 42 seconds into the second quarter. So Abigail Lynn, who has handled the face-off draws exclusively for Bishop Guertin, is going to go up against Milena Mara, a junior for Pinkerton, who's going to relieve Anna Perkins, at least for now, in the circle for the Astros. This one deflected near side, and Pinkerton is on it. Eckerman with the scoop. Now the senior still coming downhill. Gets it back on the wing, and the Astros will reset. Pinkerton has scored, as we mentioned, 3 goals in the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but have not scored since. Trying to figure out this puzzling BG defense. Got an isolation here behind the cage. Collins trying to shake, goes back middle, but lost it. A whistle is going to keep it at this end.
Yeah, just again, that was a check inside the critical scoring area. The refs are looking for that. It's so tempting when you see a stick hanging like that, but as a defender, you have to just be confident in yourself, playing good body defense.
So it's Collins. Eder Linnell ready for BG. Collins, a jab step to her right, lost it. But again, a whistle. And again, some body contact that's going to benefit Pinkerton.
These free positions, they can completely change a game. It's a strategy at this point. You know, you want to play physical and as an attacker draw that contact because it is such a great opportunity.
Collins tries to go high. Eder Linnell is ready. Second save for the Sacred Heart commit. Cardinals look to get out and run on the clear. And now it's Lynn down the middle to her right, and she is raked. Took a shot really from the left and right. And I believe a free possession shot on the way for Lynn.
Lynn so fast in the middle of the field. That was where we really saw her shine in the tournament last year. She, between the restrainings, was dominant.
Bouncing shot is wide. Bishop Guertin with 2 players along that back line to ensure positioning. So the Cardinals looking for their 3rd straight here, a chance to tie the game after trailing earlier 3-0. And again, a violation here against the Astro defense. Cameron Layton, sophomore, going to pass on the shot. Little tic-tac-toe, ends up with a pretty good look, but wide. Out of the stick there of Dawson. Again, the Cardinals will restart.
Smart on that free position not to take it. A righty with not a strong angle. Really good awareness to move the ball.
And Bishop Guertin. This time they allow Madison Mendel to work behind the cage solo. And Mendel is going to draw another whistle. Mendel a senior and a Mount Olive commit. So Mendel from the far wing. Going to attack here, goes low, but DiClemente is there to put out the fire. 4th save of this first half unofficially for the senior. And now again, a whistle is going to give it back to Pinkerton as they look to clear deep out of their own end.
That free position shot. Going low is a great idea, but you can't drop your stick before you do it. You're telegraphing exactly where you're going to shoot. And DiClemente is the seasoned goalie that she is. She's going to read that all the way through.
Meanwhile, Doyle breaks free at midfield, has the clear for Pinkerton. And Doyle, who has a goal to her credit already, is going to slow things down here on the near wing. 4 minutes in, second quarter. Pinkerton looking for breathing room in what's turned out to be a low-scoring first half, at least so far.
BG in a man-to-man defense right now. You can see they're locked into their matchups.
Lazauskas draws a double team. Pretty good move here. And that will set up Pinkerton for another free position shot.
Good move there by Suki Folsom. She protected her stick. That was key there. She really tucked it inside. It was also how she was able to draw the foul.
She has moved well so far in this first half. The sophomore has looked good. And she's going to get an assist here? No. Stepped in the crease. Lazauskas may have had that right foot just a few inches over the line. The eagle-eyed official blows the whistle, and it stays 3-2. Now the Cardinals with some trouble. Trying to clear. This is Sydney Brophy. Sophomore headed to nearby Merrimack College. Draws a whistle, and now Pinkerton, their ride here, trying to catch back up as BG reverses to the far side of the field.
Pinkerton, to their credit, they rode hard there, and as they say, everyone plays defense.
Yep. Meanwhile, Lynn, tough catch in a crowd, trying to split dodge, and again gets tangled up. This whistle comes at the midway point, second quarter. Lynn, we'll see what happens here, but potentially a chance to tie the game. Going to readjust the headwear. Looks like she took a shot up above the shoulders on that last play.
Haven't had much flow to the game, I would say, this quarter. It's been very choppy, a lot of calls, broken up by these free positions.
And a step-down shot is going to tie the game. Abigail Lynn. Her second goal, BG's second free position shot that ends up in the back of the net. And that 3-0 Pinkerton lead, it seems like a long time ago now. The momentum with the home team as the Cardinals come back to tie the game at 3.
Yeah, you could tell when Pinkerton went up early 3-0. That was not how the rest of the game was going to play out. Cardinals have a lot of fight in them. They had to get those senior night jitters out, refocus, and we got an even ball game here.
Yeah, Astros won the first 2 faceoffs, scored on their first 2 possessions, had a big save defensively, and then came down and scored shortly after the DiClemente stop. That made it 3-0 just 3.5 minutes into the contest. But since then, the Astro offense has been basically locked down by this BG man-to-man defense. And we'll see if the Astros, over the final 5:41 before halftime, can get a little more flow on the attack. Well, not going to happen here. First of all, a little bit of confusion here. The official, I believe, still has the ball at midfield.
Yeah, even I'm trying to figure out why that ball is awarded there. I didn't see, I didn't see anyone enter early. Possibly that, the ref had a tough time setting up the draw if the Pinkerton player was moving or not complying there. Potential reason to award a free possession there. Not sure.
Cardinals will take it. Chance for the home team to take the lead for the first time today. This whistle comes away from the ball.
Sarah Brunel did exactly what you're supposed to do there. You see a defender in front of you, and you pump fake. Even if you're not going to take it, you show that player is in your way, and you're going to get that shot.
Brunel on her way to the cage was stripped. But again, in another free position shot as Brunel regroups to the same spot as a moment ago. So from about 10, 12 meters out, going to come and offer an underhanded shot that goes top shelf. A peculiar release there for Brunel may have made the difference there. Fools DiClemente, goes upstairs for her second goal, and BG has scored 4 straight to take their first lead at 4-3.
Yeah, Brunel there, she wasn't the fastest off the line. She had some traffic there, but she had that room to her right. You see she almost actually gets underneath Francesca Doyle, so I think that underhand there was because she had to duck underneath Doyle, and it worked.
2 goals, 61 seconds apart, both via the free position shot. 3 of BG's 4 goals have come from the free position shot. So Pinkerton looking for a much-needed face-off victory here. They'll get it. So that ball plucked out of the air by Doyle on the wing. Now it's back to Doyle in a crowd, but there's Eder Linnell. Upstairs save. Had her eye on it the whole time. Despite a crowded area in front of her, able to make that save shoulder high. Her third stop. Cardinals now looking on the clear. This one bounces away from Brunel and skids out of bounds. Turned back over to Pinkerton.
Both goalies having an impact early on. I love that save, but you know we've now seen multiple failed clears from the Cardinals, and you have to take care of the ball. You know, you will see as you get to higher and higher level lacrosse, the number of successful clears, it increases. And so we're at this, you know, this level now where you're trying to move the ball quickly, make those longer passes, and you know, with this, you have to know the level of skill for your team and know if you can handle that ball and that pass or not.
Pinkerton ride's been pretty good as well.
Yes.
Cardinals, well, despite their clearing difficulties, going to set up here on the offense. Brunel is going to muscle her way between 2 defenders and draw yet another whistle. Brunel potentially an opportunity here to record a hat trick in this first half. Scored BG's first goal, but can't score their latest as this one is denied. Shut down low by DiClemente for her 5th stop.
Yeah, I love that save by DiClemente. She's able to get low. She's moving really well. That's tough to shoot right off the 8-meter. I mean, I think there are only a handful of players at the high school level, let alone college, that ever been able to do that effectively.
So Pinkerton looking for their first goal since the 8:30 mark of the first quarter. This BG defense has gotten better as the game has gone on. Lozaskis back to the cage, power move, kick save by Eder Linnell. Ground ball, scooped up by Lynn, and here comes BG left to right.
Lynn in open field with just room to run. We'll see if they push this transition offense.
Going to dump it to her left. Shot and score. Off the shot fake by Mariella Tomasello, the senior headed to Furman. Pretty good move there, right off the catch. Offered a fake high and then an extra step. Creates a great shooting angle. And Bishop Guertin continuing to ride the wave of momentum. They have now scored 5 unanswered goals.
Great transition offense there, and good shot placement with catch high and a finish low. That's what you have to do, is change that level. We've seen DiClemente with her last few saves. She's been able to read the ball early, and so you have to change that level if you want to get past a goalie like her.
5 unanswered goals for Bishop Guertin and a 5-3 lead on the board.
Pinkerton, they're usually really effective with their backer zone that they're known for, which is, you know, they leave a player open and they'll choose to have that second player who's available to double the ball, or is that second line of defense, but they haven't had the opportunity to really get settled into that much.
Cardinals win another faceoff. Dawson on the wing, going to come to the middle, shuffle her way back outside the box as the Cardinals look to set something up here. Final 2 minutes before halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap of the first half, and a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well. That's all coming up at halftime. Another whistle and another violation here against the Astro defense. That'll set up Gable. She's got her eye on the cage here. Going to charge down the middle, offers a floater. She will go sprawling. Stick lost as well. Some contact on the play. The officials, I think, are going to set up another free position shot for BG.
Yeah, that stick went flying. I don't know how exactly that happened, but
They've been jammed up as we get a look at the replay. Meanwhile, what happened here? Somebody moved early?
No, it's just another foul.
Another foul.
Extension of the arms toward the body.
Meanwhile, Lynn, right to the cage, sent back home by DiClemente. Ground ball, though, is going to keep BG at this end as we move inside of 45 seconds first half.
As a coach here, you're...
Shot and score, despite a big collision on the release.
Yeah, they're going to call it a good goal. The refs looked at each other. They were trying to determine, was there any kind of dangerous follow through, or, if you follow through and hit, if your stick hits.
That's Cameron Layton, who, again, paid the price. You see the split dodge and then took a shot at the tail end of that shot. First goal for Layton. 6th unanswered for Bishop Guertin. And what was a Pinkerton 3-goal edge has turned into a 3-goal deficit with 32 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Let me tell you, the BG team, they got extra hype for that Cameron Layton goal. That was a juice goal for them, so we'll see what they do with that.
It's been a dominant quarter. As Bishop Guertin right now holding the edge in this frame, 5-0.
Yeah, I was trying to see what Coach Santos was coaching them to do. Did she want them to hold for one or just go to goal? In that case, going to goal worked out just fine.
Meanwhile, Gable took a pretty good head-first spill into this new turf. No whistle this time. It's been a physical first half. Astros, meanwhile, taking their time in their own end. We're inside of 15 seconds. DiClemente is going to fire a rainbow pass near side. It's handled by Folsom. Folsom looks to come down the middle. Pinkerton, though, is likely going to run out of time. That will do it for the first half. Game of runs. That's the old adage, and that applies here as well. Pinkerton scored the first 3 goals. BG the latest 6. And at the midway point, the Cardinals doubling up the Astros 6-3 here in Nashua.
If you had told me that after Pinkerton opened up with the first 3 goals, that would be their only 3 of the half, I wouldn't have believed you. It's definitely, things shifted in the game. I think we talked about that timeout that BG took early to reset, and things changed for them since then.
So, a lot to talk about for both teams as they regroup at the midway point. Short halftime, as we know. We'll be back in just a few moments. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Start of the second half here in Nashua. Bishop Guertin leading Pinkerton 6-3 in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. We're presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. Astros 10-2 on the season. Got off to a dream start this afternoon, scoring the first 3 goals in just 3.5 minutes. BG defense clamped down, and Pinkerton was held off the scoreboard for the remainder of that first half. That allowed the Cardinals' attack to get going. 1 goal in that first quarter from Sarah Brunel. It was on a free position shot. But 5 more from the home team in that second quarter. Abigail Lynn with 2, Brunel a second, and then Mariella Tomasello, and then Cameron Layton Here's a shot and a score. And that's what Pinkerton needed. Delaney Summers, her second, the sophomore, got the step. And it's now 6-4, Bishop Guertin.
No surprise that that's who they look to get the Astros back on the board. Delaney Summers, she's the leading goal scorer for the Astros this season, is only a sophomore. And you can see why there. She looks super confident with the ball and really good power behind her shot.
Just 32 seconds into the quarter. Summers, her second. And now the onus is on Bishop Guertin to respond here as their lead is cut to 2.
Clean draw control made all the difference. Some of these other draws have been contested, scrapping for the ball. Astros won that first one cleanly, and now the second one's going the other way.
Gable on the ground ball. Cardinals working right to left. They're going to try their luck with 2 players behind the cage here. Tomasello feeds Brunel on the wing. She's given plenty of room. What are we looking at defensively here from Pinkerton?
Yeah, so Pinkerton is known for their backer zone, which means that they play like that extra player. They leave someone on the backside open, but we're not seeing that right now. They've gone to a man-to-man defense. You can see they have their matchups. They're playing they're hedged in. They're playing tighter to the 8-meter. They're just trying to shut down anyone dodging inside. That actually allows them to slide more easily. So you see as the Cardinals try to work the ball on the inside, that second slide is very nearby.
As a result, Cardinals, they go back door, and there it is. A patient possession pays off. Tomasello's second goal. Got the home team celebrating as they reclaim a 3-goal lead, 7-4.
Pinkerton hasn't quite been able to figure out what to do defensively here to stop this Cardinals run. I think their goal might be the best form of defense right now, is like get the ball, score, and keep the ball out of the Cardinals' hands. BG is hot right now. They're moving the ball well. That was a really smart possession from them. You saw them, they were dodging a bit. They pulled it out once those slides came, and they really waited for that opening that was a sure thing.
Lynn in the face-off circle for BG, but this one is cleaned up by the wing for Pinkerton Doyle. Now the Astros with a chance to put another up here. 2 minutes in, third quarter. Sun really starting to set. It's up in our eyes here, elevated above the field in the press box, but down on the field, it's pretty much a shadow fest at this point. In fact, no sunlight really at all anywhere on the turf. Off the screen, shot and score. That one pretty to watch. Count it for Delaney Summers. Summers catching the hot hand here in this third quarter. 2 of her 3 goals on the day have come in just 2 minutes and 12 seconds since halftime.
Credit the assist to Hannah Lazauskas. That is quite the duo there. Again, really good vision from Lazauskas. And Summers was able to catch the ball and finish on the run. She didn't stop her feet once, and that is really hard to defend.
Lazauskas has played the role of playmaker this afternoon. She has not scored a goal, but has assisted now on at least 3 for Pinkerton. All right. 2-goal game as things tighten again in the opening minutes of the third quarter. BG's going to win it. Gable, another ground ball. Dawson has room on the far wing. Looks for a cutter down the middle. That's Brunel. Tough catch. 2 players in the area. And now we do get a whistle. Well, the Pinkerton defender may have extended the arms a little too much there for the officials' liking.
Yep, so Brunel's going to be set on that 12-meter arc. When there used to be a foul and you were set on the 12-meter, that was an indirect free position. The rule has since changed this year, so she could have taken that straight to cage if she wanted to.
Okay. Meanwhile, DiClemente comes up with her 7th save just a moment ago. But things will stay at this end as there's another infraction against Pinkerton. The officials trying to decide exactly where the players should be placed here. And as a result, Cam Layton surveys her options, and Layton goes over to Lynn. Lynn approaches processly. Shot denied. DiClemente another save. Ground ball goes to Pinkerton as Eckerman is there in front of the cage. Unofficially 8 stops so far for Sarah DiClemente, who's been superb. But again, Astros fail to clear. The BG Ride comes up with another turnover.
The failed clears, we've seen the impact those have been having on this game. Once, the Astros have got to be tired on defense right now. They're continuing. They make saves, turn it over. Make another save, turn it over. And now this causes them to go offsides. A little bit of, lack of paying attention, especially, when you're in that clear and things are getting a little bit jumbled. They end up offside, so it doesn't change much. The Cardinals are going to retain the ball.
Yeah, both teams' rides have been effective at times in this game. And you're right, the time of possession has certainly favored the Cardinals in this quarter, which is now 4+ minutes old.
It has, and in high school, without any kind of shot clock, the Cardinals only up by 2 goals. I wouldn't take really much time off the clock. It's still plenty of time to play hard. You have to keep playing at this point, but you could see some very lengthy possessions at the high school level.
Here's Brunel, who's looked to attack really all afternoon. Forced to give it up now, Lynn. Quick move to her right, draws a slide, draws a switch. Kind of S-dodge to her right, but lost it from behind. Good poke check there. Pinkerton does have it.
That's excellent check by Franny Doyle. They knew they were ready for Lynn to be a Dodger. They were all over that, and a very clean check. That's exactly how you have to execute it away from the body.
Meanwhile, Collins draws a little bit of contact, now is given the green light. And despite all their problems defensively, Pinkerton in a position now to cut the lead in half. They can make it a 1-score game again. Meanwhile, knocked to the ground. I think that was Lazowskis. Looks like she was pushed in the back. And now she'll be able to line up on that wing.
Yeah, I don't know who was yelling it, but someone was calling that was a horizontal stick. That's exactly why they call that. You can make contact with the body, but the refs are looking to make sure that stick is between 10 and 2.
Meanwhile, Collins gets a quick shot off, but it's going to coincide with a whistle. Another BG infraction as we approach the midway point third quarter. So this one will leave Collins open on the near wing. Collins, who's played well this afternoon, on her way to the College of Charleston. Tries a bouncer and scores. And again, goes tumbling after the release. Took a shot, but able to beat Eder Linnell on the bounce, and all of a sudden it's a 1-score game again at 7-6.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do on a free position. You want to be fast off the line, take the shot before it's contested too heavily. She finishes it low, past Eder Linnell. That you want to get free possession shots. It is one of the best ways to score. I mean, the teams practice this. You practice drawing the fouls. You practice drawing shooting space so that you have those types of open opportunities.
Well, BG cashed in on 3 in that first half. The Collins goal a moment ago is the first free position goal for Pinkerton. 2 in a row for the Astros.
I think Collins is onto something. Charleston looks beautiful. I think that I heard that is a really, really nice campus.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Pinkerton, the 3 players in the mix there, but it's BG who comes away with it. Jordan Gable done a great job starting to pile up some ground balls, particularly on the faceoff. And that has given BG, again, that unofficial time of possession edge.
Cardinals have been leaning on her to play two-way midfield. I'm sure she'd prefer to play straight defense. That's what she's known for as a defender. But we'll see, noticeably on the sideline is BG's Lola Dumont, who's out with an injury. They're really missing her from that first midfield line, and Gable has stepped up to the plate.
Meanwhile, more rough and tumble action in front of the cage results in Pinkerton possession. Astros, a couple of passes later, are going to cross midfield with another successful clear. And as we approach 5 minutes to go now in the third quarter, Pinkerton, after trailing by as many as 3, chance to tie the game with a goal here.
Some other notable additions to the sidelines I'm seeing. Lauren Redfern, who used to play for BG, is back. She just finished her freshman campaign at Villanova. She's joined the coaching staff for this late run in the season. And Hannah Lasaskis with the ball right now. Her dad, Rich Lasaskis, is an assistant for the Pinkerton Astros this year. Must be fun for them to finish out her career in that way.
Yeah, certainly. With really both of these programs, kind of a family affair. I mean, you would know better than anybody. A lot of the alumni do come back and contribute their time to make sure that the program is as strong as it needs to be.
It's really special. I think, everyone, like I said, the New Hampshire lacrosse community, it's small, it's tight-knit. I love the alumni support. I mean, we see it all over the place, especially most recently. Proud to see my younger brother step up to coach.
There you go.
The BG boys varsity lacrosse team. We're New Hampshire lacrosse lifers for sure.
Meanwhile, we're inside of 4 minutes here. Pinkerton taking their time, but BG not giving an inch defensively as they switch off successfully here. Summers forced to give it up. And back to the wing. This is Folsom. She tries her luck down the middle. That won't happen either. Now it's Doyle.
1v1 defense looks really good right now, and it's loud. You can hear both teams, both sidelines are loud. People, they're dialed into this game. A lot of energy here at Stello Stadium.
And they have been really since the opening face-off. Lazaskis down the middle. Defender falls down. That will bring the whistle. And I think we got another free position shot coming for Pinkerton. A golden opportunity to tie this game with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Another free position. I think that call could have gone either way. You could have called it into the body. You could have called a charge. I think that's has the BG sideline worked up a little bit.
So it's Lazaskis against Eder Linnell, Pinkerton's all-time career scorer. He's going to come down the middle and score again. Beats Eder Linnell to her right. Looked like it was high to low. Doesn't matter. Goal number 7 is on the board, and we're back to square one, tied 7-7. Cardinals going to call a timeout here?
I think that they actually might be making a goalie change.
Okay.
I see Emerson Danish is running out onto the field maybe to get a few warm-up shots from Lauren Redfern, who I just mentioned, who's back from Villanova. Eder Linnell's made some saves right now, but if the Cardinals think that that's going to be the difference maker, they're gonna pull all the levers they have.
So it's Emerson Danish, the senior, on her way to RPI. Certainly not your average situation where your quote-unquote backup goaltender is an NCAA commit. That's a good problem to have for Coach Santos. So Danish is going to get the call. We're seeing her get warm. And we've got a new game to talk about here with the game tied at 7. It's been a game of runs. Pinkerton scored the first 3. BG, over the next quarter and a half, scored 6 unanswered, led 6-3 at halftime. Some early back and forth here in this third quarter. Saw Summers score for Pinkerton, then Tomasello for BG. Summers again for the Astros, followed up by 2 free position shot goals from Collins and a moment ago from Lazaskis. So that is where we are, 7-7, as these two teams continue to strategize here in the timeout late in the third quarter.
This is a fun place to be right now. 7-7, late in the third. Like both teams who have been really physical. We're seeing a captain's meeting actually with the refs at center field. Both teams, may have had something that they wanted to discuss. I'm sure it has something to do with the physicality, the fouling. That's typically what you'd talk about in a situation like that. But this next draw is a big one.
Been a physical game. We've seen a number of free position shots, number of free position shot goals, and certainly a number of players go airborne here in what has been kind of a rough and tumble affair. We expected that, of course, a long-running rivalry between Bishop Guertin and Pinkerton, but certainly that makes the officials' job that much tougher in this type of a game, right?
Yeah, they're looking for it too. I think I've mentioned it a couple times, the points of emphasis this season. They are looking for fouls in that critical scoring area. The extension of the arms, horizontal stick especially. They're looking for checks toward the head. Safety has been a big focus this season, and you see the refs calling a tight game.
So, both teams headed back to the face-off circle. Who would you say, Kristen, has gotten the advantage there? We don't have the stats in front of us, but
it feels like Pinkerton has. Feels like Pinkerton has it. I think BG's been able to scrap for some, but in terms of the clean draw control wins, I'd give the eye test advantage to the Astros.
It's been a committee for Pinkerton. BG has leaned upon Abigail Lynn, the junior headed to BU, who has scored 2 goals in this game. She's handled every face-off, including the upcoming one. Going to try to do it against Anna Perkins, who's taken the majority for Pinkerton today. 2:42 to go as we resume things here in the third quarter, and Perkins wins this cleanly for the Astros.
Yeah, that's a beautiful self-draw. She clearly great wrist strength, able to wrangle that one in one-handed.
Now Collins hooks up with Lazaskis, and Pinkerton's going to settle down here, looking to retake the lead. Have not played with the lead since midway through the second quarter. And again, more defensive chatter from the Cardinals. Lazaskis one-on-one, testing the waters. Now finds a cutter, a quick shot there by Doyle. Ends up out of play. Not sure if the new goaltender Danish got a piece or not, but it'll stay at this end with the visitors.
Yeah, even if she didn't actually get a piece, unless she was moving well, so she looks like she's ready to pounce.
Meanwhile, Pinkerton getting set for what should be a free position shot from straight away. Coming and running into some trouble there is Folsom. Ground ball now. Folsom trying to carve out positioning, may have been pushed. Get another whistle, and indeed it'll stay with Pinkerton. As we approach the final minute of this third quarter. Lazaskis goal line extended. He's been the playmaker today for Pinkerton. Several assists. Eckerman now going to jog from one side to the other. Picked up on the far wing. Now Pinkerton will come to the other side. Folsom dashes, offers an underhand attempt. It's kicked aside by Danish. And the Cardinals get another ground ball under control as Sydney Brophy is there.
When you have a goalie who comes off the bench after sitting for most of the game and makes a save like that, you kind of take this sigh of relief. That's a risk that you take. You know, when you've been sitting on the bench, it's a couple warm-up shots. They're not going to get you ready to go, but Emerson Danish clearly, she's mentally focused and she was ready for that opportunity.
Meanwhile, another whistle here. This one from the backside official. Well away from the ball. May have been an issue with the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think they actually didn't start the clock when they should have, so official Gary Wong asked for it to be reset to 26 seconds.
Yep. This one dropped. Brophy successfully backtracks as her teammate Lindsay Rodel is there on the ground ball. Now Gable is turned over. Picked off. Summers coming down the middle. Trying to find room to her right. Good defensive effort. Whistle. We get a restart. We get a shot upstairs. It's swallowed up by Danish at the buzzer. 7-7 after 3. It's anybody's guess here in Nashua. Fourth quarter and perhaps conclusion on the other side. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, back here for the fourth quarter as we see a rogue balloon escape into the woods here on senior night. Nobody does it better than the Cardinals and their support staff here. Plenty of balloons, plenty of flyers, posters, and, of course, an on-air celebration of the 10 departing seniors pregame. Set the stage for this one. It's been a very competitive game. Both teams have held 3-goal leads, but Kristen, seemingly appropriate that they're tied at 7 as we head to the fourth.
We knew this was going to be a fun one. I mean, teams that have very similar records up until this point. They're, like you said, long-standing rivals, Cardinals and Astros. This is the kind of game that you want and that you hope for. It's fun to be battle-tested. You know, these teams have had games throughout the season where it's quite lopsided. This is what you work hard for, are these moments where you get to head into the fourth quarter tied late in mid-May, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
This is fun. Sun is set. Temperature is beautiful. Like, you couldn't ask for a better night to play lacrosse.
Yeah, temperature dipping a little bit down into the mid-60s. We were in the mid-70s a couple hours ago, but overall no complaints as the sun continues to set here in southern New Hampshire. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Both teams in the mix in Division I, everybody chasing undefeated and defending champion Portsmouth. BG will host the Clippers coming up on Thursday, but Pinkerton right behind them at 10-2 overall. And BG certainly in that upper tier as well at 7-3 despite a 2-game losing streak. All right, the Cardinals trailed out of the gate 3-0, rallied and scored 6 unanswered to hold a 6-3 lead at halftime, but Pinkerton closes that third quarter with 3 unanswered of their own, and here we are tied at 7.
Pinkerton starting the fourth quarter. They're back to that man-to-man defense. They seem to have ditched the backer zone. Not sure if that's for good, but for now.
You know, that shot ends up wide. It's played on the bounce. The long pole for Pinkerton. That's Callie Lockwood. The senior sparks the break. The clear is completed by Collins. And now Pinkerton in transition, looking dangerous here. A little bit of a body check is going to send Lazaskis behind the cage, but the official blows the whistle. Lazaskis will reposition herself. It looks like a tough angle, free position shot here from the far wing. Takes off a little bit early, and that's a violation.
Yeah,
Took off way too early there. The officials blow the whistle and give it back to the Cardinals.
Yeah, full start. Sometimes you can get away with like barely a step over the line, but that one was clear before the whistle. That's a turnover.
Yep. Missed opportunity for Pinkerton. Cardinals trying to make them pay. They get the clear via the far sideline. Now Tomasello, who scored twice today, is going to slow it down. Brunel going to fling it near side for Gable. A touch now for Dawson. And again, the Cardinals showing patience as they cycle it around the perimeter. A big collision here that sent the ball ajar. Also drew the officials' attention. So likely a restart. Unless Brunel pulls the trigger, this would be from deep, about 15 meters. She is going to go to the cage. No shot there. Tomasello takes over behind the net. Feeds it from behind. There's Lynn on the cut, shot, and score, and the Cardinals are going to retake the lead. Pretty pass from behind the net. Lynn on the run makes the cut, catch, and shot to make this an 8-7 contest.
Yeah, that was a great look. And just to know, Ava Card is now in the game, so she had that credit to that assist on that goal. Tomasello looks like she's still out there. BG has they don't make many substitutions throughout the game, but we've now seen Ava Card enter the scene, and what a great way to start with that assist.
Card, one of the 10 seniors honored before the game. Pretty pass, tough angle from behind the net. The timing impeccable. Just what the Cardinals needed. BG back in front at 8-7.
That's what can happen too when you're playing that man-to-man defense. You're so focused on your one player, your one matchup. Get caught ball watching, and it's gone.
Shot, score, we're tied again. A very quick response for Pinkerton. That's Delaney Summers, who continues to rack up the goals for the Astros. 3 of her 4 have come since halftime, giving a big boost to this Astro attack. We're square once again at 8 apiece.
They answered right back.
Just 17 seconds.
Yeah, that was quick. And look at both of those last 2 goals. One thing that stands out to me are these attackers' ability to execute on the run. They don't stop their feet. They're cutting to the ball at a high speed. They catch and they finish on the run. That's really tough to defend, and it takes a high skill level to be able to do that.
And we've seen that frequently from both teams here this afternoon.
We have. Yeah, that's good offense right there.
Meanwhile, starting to make a difference for her team is Anna Perkins. Another clean face-off win for the Astros. And now several whistles are blown simultaneously. As, again, one of the referees, Gary Wong, is going to pull out a card.
Yeah, that was it looked like he pulled out a green card. I'm trying to figure out.
It did look green.
What he called that, why he called that green card, but it's not going to send anyone off the field.
No, Lynn took a few steps towards the box, but the BG junior retreated and now is back on the field here defensively.
A green card would typically send you off for a minute releasable.
We saw a locked yellow for 2 minutes earlier. That was against Lynn as well, I believe. No goal came of it, but the infractions have mounted up for both teams as BG scored 3 of their goals on free position shots in the first half. Pinkerton has scored 2 in the second half. Nearly 4 minutes in, fourth quarter. Game tied at 4. And Pinkerton apparently in no hurry as they continue to test the perimeter. Collins is forced back behind the net. The defender is Sophia Harrington.
It's good defense by Harrington.
Harrington just took it away. And now out of a crowd, it's Dawson trying to zigzag her way on the clear. Gets the step and now has open space down the middle. Dawson past midfield. Has a player up ahead. It's Mendel. Mendel took her eye off it, dropped the ball, runs into the defender. And we get an infraction here against Pinkerton.
Yeah,
it's against Bella Petralia, the senior, on her way to Plymouth State. Not happy with the call.
Just looks like the extension of the arms to me, and that can sometimes come out of frustration.
Well, backdoor feed intended for Tomasello, incomplete. Ground ball goes to Pinkerton, and they draw a whistle against BG. So the Astros have it. Nearly 5 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Game tied at 8. Long pass intercepted. Gable read it the whole way. Cardinals with numbers. Gable down the middle. No shot there. Pulls it back out smartly. And Lynn is going to walk this thing to a crawl.
Very smart. When you get that turnover, it's so tempting to just dodge hard down the middle. But that is a much better opportunity that she waited for.
And she's rewarded. Great split dodge, top of the box, and then no real help after that from the Pinkerton defense. As Gable goes right to the tin to give the Cardinals the lead again.
Yeah, once she got past them, their defense was very flat-footed on the 8-meter. They didn't have that next slide available. They were, trailing her, and that's a great opportunity. That is exactly, if you want to coach someone to not force the ball in that earlier possession, you say because you're waiting for what's the better opportunity ahead.
So 9-8. As we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter, clock starting to become a factor. Just inside of 7 minutes remaining in regulation.
Now this is where you get into an interesting situation. If a team takes a 1-2 goal lead, there's this, tendency to slow it down a little bit and try to run the clock off. There is way too much time to do that. I expect to see these teams continue to play hard for the next at least 4 minutes, I'd say.
Another key face-off win for Pinkerton. Now again, scooped up by Summers. He's been the leading goal scorer, not just today, but all season. 4 goals this afternoon for the sophomore. Goes back door. Shot, saved by Danish. Found, I think it was Lazaskis right on the doorstep, but Danish, again, hip to the situation, makes her second save off the bench. Now a little bit of trouble. Getting hacked at from behind. Danish looks for relief to her left. And now, unadulterated, come the Cardinals.
That could potentially be one of the plays of the game.
Yeah, able to avoid what could have been a crucial turnover near the net. Instead, BG hangs on to possession. They hang on to the lead. And now a chance to add to their advantage with inside of 6 minutes.
See the BG coaching staff on the sideline. They're signaling, slow it down, work the ball around. They're gonna go to goal again. They're waiting for that right opportunity. Because every single possession and decision matters at this point in the game.
How do you play this if you're Pinkerton? Still 5 minutes and change, but you're down a goal.
Yeah, don't do anything crazy. Don't depart from what you know. Their man defense, hang out where they are. BG, they want to pull them out. The further you pull out this defender, like what we saw happen earlier, if you beat someone, those slides are further away.
Lynn calls her own number. That shot whizzes above the crossbar and out of play. It's backed up by Tomasello for BG. Cardinals look to Mendel. Mendel off the switch, tries to hook up on the wing. Took her eye off it, and then look out. Brunel crunched between 2 defenders. And Brunel's slow to get up here. Trainers rushing onto the field. Coach Santos concerned as well. Brunel is helped back to her feet by her teammates. She has been knocked down several times this afternoon. Senior headed to Endicott. It's been productive for Coach Santos today, scoring multiple goals. And a good sign here as she walks off under her own power.
Yeah, she's a tough competitor, that one. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her back out on the field. She definitely, that was a collision that sent her to the ground pretty hard. But she can handle, certainly, the physicality of this game and has been able to do so with resilience the whole game.
And as you mentioned, Cardinals already shorthanded, as they've got one of their top players, the sophomore Lola Dumont, in street clothes. And now Brunel's status unknown as we proceed here with 4:39 to go. Can BG hang on? They've got a 9-8 lead, looking for some cushion here. An insurance goal, if you will. Gable got room to work here. Got a back step towards her own bench, trying to lure the defender out. Now Pinkerton really is going to press things along the perimeter.
Yeah, it's so tough to decide when do you do that, because you open yourself up to getting exposed defensively. But I agree with this. I think it's put a little pressure on them. You can't let BG be too comfortable just running the ball.
Well, there's a perfect example. A little nudge sends Tomasello over that boundary line and out of bounds. So Pinkerton forces a turnover. They get the stop they needed. The clock, though, is still ticking. We're now inside of 4 minutes. Cardinals look to work it up the field. They're going to cross midfield via Doyle. Doyle forks it up ahead. Slowing down now, goal line extended, is Lazaskis. Now back for Collins. Pinkerton trying to set something up, searching for the equalizer here.
Yeah, we'll see if Pinkerton is going to default to one of their set plays, or right now looks like they want to let Lasoskis quarterback this offense.
Well, Summers off the screen, shot and score. It looks like a great ball pick, comes off the screen to her right and then just pulls the trigger. That one had some gas on it. And we're tied at 9.
Oh, that was a beautiful shot. I love that take from her. That's a I'm hungry, I want to win type goal. I mean, just off the little bit of a flip, and she maybe shoots that from a yard foot. I mean, she's barely inside the 8-meter. That is a rip. Look at that torque that she gets. She has her arms away from her body. Beautiful form in that shot that allows her to get that power.
Beat Danish over the right shoulder to score 5th goal of the game, 4 of those since halftime. Delaney Summers, a sophomore, I'm sure is going to have a busy summer, so to speak, with that on the recruitment trail. Hot ticket for sure. The sophomore, again, 5 goals to lead all scorers. And as you mentioned earlier, has led Pinkerton in the goal department all season.
Yeah, she's an impressive player. You see she loves to compete, and she is strong. Let me tell you, that really helps her game and sets her above the rest.
Meanwhile, the infraction is on Lynn. Even though it was the junior who went down on the play, Pinkerton's going to have the possession and now a chance to score back-to-back goals and retake the lead. Clock a major factor at this point. We're down to 2:45. Pinkerton trailed by as many as 3 about midway through that third quarter. Trying to complete the comeback here on the road and capture their 11th overall win of the season. A little bit of a weave here up top. Collins takes over. And now in some trouble.
Wow.
Another good takeaway defensively. And at full speed comes Gable. Gable across midfield, now streaking down the near sideline, still pushing the issue. Draws a slide. Little pass for Mendel. Mendel is hit in the head. And a free position shot on the way here for BG as we hit the 2-minute mark, fourth quarter.
Wow, clutch players make clutch plays. Jordan Gable, that was a huge caused turnover. She legs it down the field. Now we've got a free position shot for Mendel. And the question is, will she try to force this tough angle or pull it out and give BG a different opportunity?
Mendel took a couple of steps, but pulled it back out. Now the pass behind the net is deflected. The ball is loose, and it's scooped up by DiClemente. So there's the stop Pinkerton needed. They get to it. Now a timeout is coming from the Astros sideline.
See Coach Katie Bork, she had to go kind of deep into that field to get the ref's attention, say that she wanted that timeout. This is going to give the Astros the opportunity to set up their clear the way that they want to and have a plan to get that go-ahead goal.
Well, you mentioned Coach Bork. I believe, year number 3 with Pinkerton?
At least
3 or 4?
Yeah. She's done a great job with this program. They've had their ebbs and flows. This is definitely, one of the strongest teams that I've seen from them in a while.
Well, that's where I was going with it. Again, 10 wins out of the gate in their first 12. So 10-2 coming into today. That's despite an out-of-state loss their last time out. They do wrestle away this win here. They'd improve to 11-2 on the heels of undefeated Portsmouth, who is in the number 1 slot right now in Division I. And the Cardinals, should they indeed come up short here today, that would mark their 3rd straight loss. It would slip them to 7-4. But as you mentioned, still give or take 3 weeks left of regular season play, a chance to continue to improve and build. And both these teams obviously are playoff teams and may meet again in the postseason. But as you mentioned, from a rivalry standpoint, from a momentum standpoint, this one is a big one for both teams.
It definitely is. It's, if anything, a confidence boost of, we are one of these top teams going to make a deep run. If I'm either coach, regardless of the outcome, regardless of how this minute 27 shakes out, this is a good day for both teams. I think it's a sign you're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
If I've learned anything from watching college playoffs the last couple weeks, the teams that peak too early in the season are not necessarily the ones that survived when it mattered to make that playoff run. So I like what I see from both of these teams.
And of course, short rest for Bishop Guertin. They will host Portsmouth coming up on Thursday. An extra day of rest for Pinkerton as they next take the field Friday when they host Wyndham. All right, minute 27 remaining. Pinkerton with possession. Cardinals send their defense onto the field first. Coach Bork going to linger a moment with her squad on the sideline. And they'll have to work the length of the field here against what's been, at times today, a pretty formidable Bishop Guertin ride.
This is going to be a huge clear. One thing I want to see from the Cardinals is, as much as you want to fight to get this ball back, clean ride. You don't want the fouls. You don't want any delay of game, potentially green cards that would send a player off the field, having to play down. Clean ride here, and hopefully good decision making from the Astros if they want to have a chance to play offense one last time.
We've seen just one penalty each way against these squads. So it's been pretty clean. It's been physical, as we've talked about. And now the final minute 27. Here we go. BG. They're going to pick up everywhere. DiClemente examining her options behind the cage. Left unguarded for the moment. Minute 10 to go. DiClemente still surveying, still looking. Fires a pass over the middle. It's caught. Tough contested catch for Collins. Short pass near side. This is Folsom. Folsom across midfield. Pass is now back beyond the 50 for Collins. We're down to 50 seconds. Looks middle. Eckerman. Eckerman with room to her right. Floats it far side, and now the Astros will settle in deep here. We're going to win the game here in the final 40 seconds. Lazaskis behind the cage. The defender is Harrington. Senior against sophomore. Lazaskis now given room here, top of the box. Down to 24 seconds. Whistle. And is this a violation against Bishop Guertin? Clock is stopped with 23 seconds.
Trying to figure out what this might be.
Well, there is Lazaskis speaking with the officials.
There's some kind of foul because they're clearing a lane, so she's going to be on the 12. Again, rule change, so she could go direct to goal if she wants. Does not need to make a pass.
Well, this one would be deep if she lets it fly. There's 23 seconds. Lazaskis instead finds an open teammate, Summers. Now it's Collins' far side, and we get another whistle.
Shooting space.
Just inside of 18 seconds. Another look at the replay as Collins, coming down the right side, was met by the BG defender, Elena Marziano. Down the middle. Bouncing shot, saved by Danish. A sprawling stop. Danish nearly lost it behind the cage from behind as Lazaskis lunges. We're down to 5 seconds. Danish still has it. Does throw the outlet pass to her left. Final seconds are going to run off the clock, and we're headed to overtime here at Stello Stadium. 9-9 our score after regulation. It's Madeline Eder, it was Madeline Eder Linnell who started the day in net for BG. Removed in the third quarter in favor of Emerson Danish, and she may have just saved the game for Bishop Guertin with that save inside of 10 seconds remaining.
Oh, I hope she's feeling good right now. She came up with some huge plays in her time, especially in this fourth quarter, and that save gives her team a chance to stay in this fight for an overtime.
We get a look at the replay. Collins tried to beat her low with a bouncer, and the cupboard door slapped shut by Danish at the last moment. You mentioned off air, Cardinals have a luxury at the goaltender spot. 3 seniors, all of them are NCAA commits. We mentioned the starter, Eder Linnell, on her way to Sacred Heart. Danish, who has played well, committed to RPI. And the third is Haley Mitchell, who we've not seen today, but goes to Perennial Power in Division II Tampa next fall. So a good problem to have for Coach Santos, and no matter who has been called on here today, we've seen some spectacular saves in net, the latest coming from Emerson Danish.
It's a fun environment to be a part of, being able to compete every day for your job, pushing each other to be better. I mean, what a dream situation for a coach of, you've got 3 incredible talents on your team. I think this BG team, they've always had more depth than other programs, and they definitely use that to their advantage.
All right, so walk us through what we're about to see here in overtime from a rules perspective, and then we'll get into the strategy in a moment.
Yes, so winner takes all. So one, they call it sudden death, sudden victory. I think it's been rebranded these days.
We're okay with sudden death.
Okay,
yes.
Sudden death. So we're going to see a draw. We'll have a 1 overtime period. The teams, they saw a coin toss, so they'll talk about which they pick their ends of where they're going to put their goalies and their defenses. But it's going to look like pretty much a regular game, except for if we get a goal, it's over.
Right. And if we remain tied, at the end of the frame, we do it again.
We'll do it again, yeah. We'll keep doing it until we reach a winner.
Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. 9-9 our score as we await the overtime session here at Stello Stadium. Pinkerton, 10-2 on the season. Got off to a good start here on the road. 3 straight goals in the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Francisca Doyle, Delaney Summers, Suki Folsom in that order. BGD came alive, and so did the attack. As the Cardinals ended the first half on a 6-0 run to take a 6-3 lead into the locker room. Sarah Brunel had 2 of those goals. Abigail Lynn, 2 as well. Marciela Tomasello and Cameron Layton tacked on the final 2 of the half. Third quarter, much more competitive. And that's when Pinkerton sophomore Delaney Summers really got going. Summers scored 2 goals in the third and 2 more in the fourth to tie this game. Ultimately, we were even 7-7 at the end of the third quarter. And obviously we're tied now at 9 at the end of the fourth. And of course, Hannah Lazaskis has been instrumental today as well, unofficially with 3 assists and a goal, and nearly had the game winner a moment ago. Defensively, well, how about the goaltending? We've talked about that repeatedly here throughout the broadcast, but Sarah DiClemente, I've got her for 8 stops, and off the bench, Emerson Danish, including that potential game saver, with 4 stops and just over a quarter of action.
Goalie play has been even more than I hoped it would be. I knew we'd see those players make an impact in this game. I described them as athletic goalies. They like to come out of the cage. We've seen them get ground balls, interceptions. That's all you can ask for in net to anchor your defense. And then really impressed by Emerson Danish coming off the bench, making those clutch plays. She gives her team a chance to win this one with that final save.
Well, don't look now, but the Cardinals are going to send a new player into the face-off circle. They're going to move Lynn to the wing after Lynn took every draw. Those duties have now fallen with Sydney Brophy, the junior on her way to Merrimack College.
Olivia Baker, the junior.
Is it Baker?
Looks like
I thought it was Brophy, but you may be right.
I think it's Baker. I'm seeing height that I haven't seen in the circle yet.
Baker, a junior midfielder. Hannah Perkins, who's taken the majority of the face-offs for Pinkerton, is there representing the Astros. This one rolls to the far side, and Pinkerton gets to it first. I think that was Eckerman on the ground ball. Either way, Astros a chance to win this thing right here.
They've got time, so there's 3 minutes on the clock for this overtime period. First couple touches, Lasoskis and Summers, no surprise there.
Here is Summers, trying to reverse direction, draws a second defender. Now frees herself up, looks for an open teammate. Pass dropped, scooped up by the defense. Out of a crowd for the Cardinals, that's Lindsay Rodell, senior on her way to Muhlenberg University to play NCAA lacrosse. A key ground ball. And now it's Jordan Gable with a key clear. Gable still racing along the far side, make that the near side wing. Finally pumps the brakes. And now BG on their first possession in overtime. Chance to win the game at home on senior night.
I feel like this whole game we've just been watching Gable run it up and back the field.
He's been very active. Meanwhile, Lynn tangled up a little bit there with the defender, enough to draw the whistle. And now the junior, committed to Boston University, perhaps thinking trigger pull here, which would end the game. DiClemente ready in net for Pinkerton. Lynn stares her down, goes to the cage, shot wide. Ball stays in play behind the net. Ground ball loose, and a violation against Tomasello. A little bit of a push, but Tomasello knocks down the outlet pass, can't find the loose ball. There to it, or there on it, for Pinkerton is Lazoskis, and we get a timeout from Coach Bork all the way from the visitor sideline to save, perhaps, the possession there for Pinkerton.
Wow, a possession for each team in the first half of the first overtime. That's crazy. I mean, this is fun to watch. I mean, I keep saying this whole game has just felt energetic. To come up with, there was almost a couple changes of possessions and in those last few seconds there, but I agree with that timeout. Really smart play. You got to reset your team after, almost losing the ball a couple times there.
Yeah, Coach Bork, something in mind, has the clipboard, it looks like, in the middle of that Pinkerton huddle. Well, we've seen some great individual plays today, including a couple of key defensive takeaways at some clutch moments, or during some clutch moments this afternoon. And then, well, we've seen a lot of good team play and team chemistry on display as well. Good ball movement. And that has led to some pretty goals on the attack as well for both teams.
It has. I think the other thing, the clearing game has been a big factor here.
Has that gotten better?
I think it has. One of the things I think has shifted is we saw more transition passing earlier in the game, and that was getting disrupted by just physical riding. We're seeing just more legs down the field, running it straight ahead. So we'll see what the Astros have drawn up here as their plan to clear this ball and then their offensive set they're going to get into. And you mentioned time is a factor throughout this game. 91 seconds, it's not a long time. That, especially with no shot clock, there's no time limit to clear this ball. They're going to take their time, and we'll see how much time they have if they can clear it successfully to go to goal.
And how aggressive are you here defensively if you're Bishop Guertin?
As much as you want to cause turnover, I think best case scenario potentially is send it to a second overtime.
All right. So, Pinkerton out of the timeout. We'll look to work the length of their field, or the length of the field from deep in their own end. And we'll see how aggressive this Cardinal ride is. It has been really dialed in all afternoon. Although I suppose we're past the afternoon phase.
Yeah.
It is
deep into the evening.
It is now after 8 o'clock here locally. So, all right. Restart. And they're just going to clear it out. Foot race along the far sideline. Looks like a track meet here. Collins eventually wins the race. So Pinkerton Plenty of time here. Minute 15, trying to set up the game winner.
Yeah, that was a clear, I'd say, we expected to see. That's where these teams have been having most success, is just running it down the field.
Meanwhile, a gamble here pays off for the BG defense. Marziano jumps into the passing lane, comes away with the takeaway. And now another whistle as a player is dinged up behind the play. That's a Cardinal down on one knee along that far sideline. Marziano, who made that spectacular interception, took a pretty rough spill. That's been a theme here for both teams. A very physical game here today.
Nick, you asked me how aggressive would I be if I was the Cardinals. I probably wouldn't have said that, and I said best case scenario, set it to double overtime. I stand corrected. Best case scenario, get the ball back.
Well, just a great play by Marziano. I think she took the initiative there by herself to jump in and intercept that one, so it pays off for the home team. Now the Cardinals, 45 seconds to work with. Harrington, short pass, taken near sideline. Dawson thinking about it. Instead forks it behind the net. Mendel has it, and upon the catch, we get a timeout from Coach Santos. That'll stop the clock with inside of 36 seconds to go. It's the second-year head coach. Well, now it's her turn to try to draw up a potential game winner in the final seconds of overtime number 1.
Yeah, this is a big timeout. This is a big moment as a coach. You spend a lot of time thinking about what would I do in this scenario. You're tied, last possession of overtime. I think looking at this game, I would want the ball, I think, in the hands of Sarah Brunel. Now, have we seen her? I'm not sure. Have we seen her come back in since that spill?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, and so this is the, next player up mentality of who's it's going to be when I think one of your best attackers is sidelined.
Also, appears the defense may be shorthanded as well, as Elena Marziano not walking very well, frankly, needing the assistance of her teammates to get over to the trainer's table and have another look at the senior. Marziano on her way to Alabama Huntsville, one of 11 NCAA commits on this Bishop Guertin roster. So, the BG defense a moment ago survived. Now the Pinkerton Astros hope their D unit can come through here and preserve this 9-9 tie, at least for the next 35 and a half seconds. Reminder, if you have not done so, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is on YouTube. The channel is FNLNH Media. That's FNLNH Media. Again, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be in the know. You'll be notified whenever we go live for the next 3 weeks to close out the regular season, and tournament action available as well in June. So do not be left out in the cold. Like and subscribe. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is on YouTube at FNLNH Media. Nick Anastas, along with Kristen Cameron, in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Overtime thriller, 35.5 seconds. BG hoping to end the game right here. They're going to have Lynn control behind the net. Makes her move to the far side. Tries to shake off the defender on the wing and lost the ball. Whistle. And Lynn may have been pushed.
Pinkerton's choosing to be aggressive. They're sending 2 to her right away. Lynn's the obvious choice of who to go to, and they're expecting that. They're ready for that defensively.
Eckerman drawing the assignment there. Called for the violation. So Lynn, tough angle on this free possession shot. Waits for the whistle, goes to the cage, shoots and scores and sends us all home. Abigail Lynn, the junior, scores her 3rd goal of the contest. No doubt in her mind, it seemed like she wanted to score, went right to the cage to beat DiClemente and win the game in overtime for Bishop Guertin with less than 20 seconds remaining.
Nick, you called out the tough angle, but with her speed, I had a feeling this would be the choice she makes. She's quick off the line. She tucks underneath very well. She gets inside of Astros defender Parker Knowlton, and she has got a really, really good, ability to handle her stick in tight, and she finds the back of the net. And happy senior night to the Cardinals. That's her gift to them.
Yes, the junior sending out her 10 teammates who are seniors in proper fashion. They were all honored before the game, and good for the home team to come away with a win. Tough loss for Pinkerton as they dropped to 10-3 on the season, suffer their second straight defeat. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis as we put this thing to rest in the postgame next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Well, what a game here at Stello Stadium. An overtime affair. BG wins it in the final seconds, 10-9 in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Astros 10-2 on the season coming in. Got off to a good start. 3 straight in the first 3.5 minutes. Francesca Doyle, Delaney Summers, Suki Folsom made it 3-zip, and that forced an early BG timeout. But seemed to work for Coach Santos. Defense picked it up, kept Pinkerton off the scoreboard for the rest of the first half, and the attack got going. 6 unanswered goals, 2 from Sarah Brunel, 2 from Abigail Lynn, and 1 apiece for Mariella Tomasello and Cameron Layton. 6-3 was the Cardinal lead at halftime. And then the second half, well, it turned at least a little bit into the Delaney Summers show. The Pinkerton sophomore scored 4 of her game-high 5 goals in the second half, 2 of those in a big third quarter for Pinkerton. Astros scored 3 unanswered to close out that frame and tie the game at 7. And in the fourth quarter, back and forth, Abigail Lynn, who ends up with 4 goals tonight, scores her third in the fourth quarter. Summers notches her 5th early in the frame, and then about the midway point, Jordan Gable, who had a number of ground balls for Bishop Guertin, scored her lone goal to give the Cardinals a brief 9-8 lead. That was about midway through the fourth quarter. Pinkerton gets another from Summers, her 5th and final, just outside the 3-minute mark. Final 3:11, in fact, of regulation was scoreless. Then in overtime, each team had a chance. But in the end, final seconds, it's Abigail Lynn on a free position shot, and fittingly, she brings home the bacon for her squad. A team-high 4 goals for Lynn, and handled the vast majority of the face-off draws as well. 10-9 the final. Pinkerton, they slip, as I mentioned, to 10-2. Cardinals improve now to 8-3. As we get your final thoughts, Kristen, on what was a great game to call and watch.
Great game. Really fun to be back in the booth with you, Nick. Impressive effort from both teams. They fought hard, like we talked about the physicality throughout the game. The effort and intensity never wavered from either team. If anything, I saw more energy as the game progressed. A lot of fight from both of these teams. Like you said, quick turnovers. This season is condensed. Yeah. That is tough for the Cardinals right now to go turn around and play the top team in the state in 2 days.
Yep.
But they've got some good momentum heading into that game.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Portsmouth will travel here on Thursday to face Bishop Guertin, while Pinkerton will return home to play host against Wyndham on Friday. We're back on the boys' side of the schedule tomorrow night in Division II. Roger Howe will join me for Timberlane at Goffstown. That's a 5:30 start. Two seemingly contenders in Division II meeting up at 5:30. Again, that's Timberlane at Goffstown coming up tomorrow night here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Want to thank Ryan Brown and his staff here at Bishop Guertin. Of course, the grounds crew here at Stello Stadium, and our hardworking men and women at Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, that include the 1-2 punch behind the lens of Kat Doyle and Matt Beals. For my partner, Kristen Cameron, another successful broadcast, my friend. We'll see you down the road very shortly for another women's broadcast coming up over the next several weeks. And then, of course, got to thank the director, the man who made it all happen. Flawlessly done again tonight by Ben Beals, our wizard of replay, the man behind the curtain. For executive producer Steve Beals, my name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time in overtime. It's Bishop Guertin 10, Pinkerton 9. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.